a special edition of the Feminist Tea Party. We're going to be talking about women in media, and for this episode we are going to be focusing on Game of Thrones, women of Game of Thrones, and the feminist aspects of Game of Thrones. And luckily somebody had a very similar idea to ours, and that was Entertainment Weekly.
Yes.
So let's start with the Stark family. We're gonna start with the lady on our cover, Miss Arya Stark, played by Maisie Williams. Her story arc has been pretty interesting. I think from the beginning she was pretty feisty.
I love her character because she's very unpredictable, but she's feisty. Like you said, she was feisty from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
She didn't have like this little, like naive kind of like about the world, and then she kind of learned and now she's different. No, it's like she's always been a warrior fighter. The only thing is I feel like she seems like she can get into trouble quickly. When it comes to power, like she kind of, I didn't expect her to go after it as much as she did.
It's probably a good reason. It killed so much of her family.
Compared to her sister, I feel like her sister is now, if we move a little bit to Sansa, I feel like Arya was like had enough at a very young age, and Sansa just had enough like right now. She was there when her father was killed right in front of her. She was also tortured by Joffrey. She was married to Tyrion Lannister. Now she's married to this horrible guy who raped her. I feel like at one point she became numb. Like she was just there, going through the motions.
I think in terms of feminism, she's been like really strong.
I just can't wait to see her now, like as a not even like a young naive woman, but like a strong.
The actress that plays her is Sophie Turner, and in the article in Entertainment Weekly, she says that she's very excited for what her character is going to be doing. She's happy that a lot of us are starting to see Sansa for who she had seen her in the beginning as this, more dynamic character, and somebody who has more to offer than just being, the sad, pretty sister and this sad character that kind of just stands around and has things happen to her. I think she's going to be more, she's going to have more action in season 6, and I'm really excited to see what she does. Like, I feel like she's going to go for it. Like, she escaped, she got out of there. That terrible Bolton is horrific. So we are moving on to the Lannisters. The actress that plays Cersei is Lena Headey. Cersei, we all know, she was married to King Robert. King Robert died, and so she's trying to, get the power for herself through means of her sons.
I like her character because I feel like if she was a male character, think about it, if she was king, all of the things that she has done would have been okay justified and cool. But because she's a woman, it's seen as like this dirty and like, I don't know if I can trust her. But if she was a guy, I would have been like, well, that's what guys do.
She definitely circumvents the whole idea of what a queen and a mother is supposed to be. Let her husband do the work, or let her son do the work. And it's like, no, she's pulling strings behind the curtains, and she's making things happen in order to get her way, in order to have all of that come back to her.
What do you think of her daughter-in-law?
So the next character that we have is Marjorie Tyrell, played by Natalie Dormer. Marjorie is another one who pulls strings to get her way, to get power to come to her. And I think one of the ways that she uses it is through her sexuality.
I had this issue, we had this discussion about like, is she a feminist, like using her sexuality to gain power and control?
I think so.
She's really pretty, and guys like that, so she's gonna use that to her advantage. Maybe some people might not think that is feminist, but then at the same time, it's like the fact that she realized that this is the way the world works. What's wrong with her using what she has, like her talent or whatever God made her with, to advance in life.
She's got, you know, her sassy grandmother telling her,
yes.
you should do this and you should do that. It's great to see that camaraderie between two women. I did have a bit of difficulty figuring out if the show Game of Thrones passes the Bechdel test, but I guess in some instances it does.
Sometimes when they do talk about men, it relates back to power and how to get the power. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, yeah, you go get married to this guy and this guy and this guy, but it's more of like this power, this power, this power. Speaking of royals, I don't want to say she's my favorite, but I think she is. I want to talk about Daenerys. I want to talk about
Khaleesi,
the mother of dragons. I feel like she has a very similar story to Sansa, where like she started off as an innocent young woman who had to get married or because of her family, kind of to bring alliance. And she was she was super unhappy with her marriage at the beginning, and then she got advice from I guess like one of her maids, one of her servants, and she kind of got a little bit of control and a little bit of power through sex at the beginning, and then she was able to communicate that outside of the bedroom too.
You know, Queen of Dragons, she's been I think a very feminist kind of character. She was able to take her place next to Khal Drogo as an equal, and she has ruled.
Interestingly enough, both instances were like where these instances of rape and like this violence towards them that they couldn't handle anymore. And I think that Sansa is now like, yes, and Khaleesi was like that once, like after her husband died and she saw all of that she needed to see. She kind of got empowered by that. She didn't let herself be a victim of it. Okay, you know, we had our fair share of like queens and royal people, but I really want to talk about Brie because she is awesome. And
my favorite.
She's your favorite.
I love Brienne of Tarth, who is played by the gorgeous and like 6 foot something. So hey girl, tall girls unite. Gwendolyn Christie. She's like completely defies the feminine nature of women. You can say
besides Arya and the Sand Snakes, she's the only woman that we saw that she gets her way through fighting, because other women get their way through like politics or like manipulation or sexuality, and she actually
gets into the grit of it.
I love how she was revealed also. We see like this knight coming in and like trying to rescue him or whatever, and then she takes off her thing and it's like, oh, it's a girl.
Damn right, women can fight too.
It's a girl. And I was like, oh my god.
I love Brienne because she's just such a respectable character. She's just very solid. She is still trying to fulfill the promise that she made to Catelyn Stark. And that was like 3-4 seasons ago.
I want to compare her to the other warriors that we saw, which was again the Sand Snakes. They were like warriors, but they were like this. They had like a femininity to them, and they used their sexuality. But they both can coexist, and that they're both feminists. Brienne, who like I feel that out of all of them, she doesn't use this like stereotypical, you know, manipulation. She's not like, for example, like diplomatic like Daenerys. So she's not, you know, manipulative like Cersei. She's just a warrior. So who else do you want to talk about?
So we've got the priestess of the Lord of the Lights, Miss Fire.
Yes.
Melisandre, which I think is another very interesting, very conniving kind of character. She serves this greater purpose. So it's not like the power's not really for her, but is it?
I think it is.
So the actress, her name is Karis Van Houten. And she's gorgeous too. Oh my gosh, she's so fucking pretty.
I feel like she reminds me of like Lady Macbeth. Like she.
Oh yeah.
She's the behind the scenes, but then she like whispers in his ear like, do this or that, and then the guy would do it. Now he's dead, but you know. Yeah. I feel like her character and Cersei are similar, where it's like these women crave power, they do not have power, and so they will do whatever it takes to get power. I feel like she has no shame in how she gets to where she is.
She has to open her legs, she will open them. She has to kill somebody with fire, she will do it. If she has to kill a helpless, cute little girl because the Lord says that she has to kill him, she will do it. Alright, so we've gone from fire and on to snow. Egret, played by Rose Leslie.
I like her because she was like the only woman among this kind of horde of men, right? She was also similarly to Brienne. She was a warrior first and foremost. Like she wasn't into her looks and then the way that she used to get power was through her skills as a warrior instead of manipulation or politics. And she was not respected at the beginning, and then she was. So I feel like she was like the only girl, she wanted to fight and they didn't want her to.
It's interesting because I feel it's the other way around, actually. I feel like she was respected because she was a good soldier, and then when she started getting feelings for the enemy, they were like, oh,
well, they kind of used her because they were like, well, she's the only girl, like let's get her to seduce Jon Snow, kind of thing.
So that was a few of the women's from Game of Thrones. You saw there's very different storylines, very different dynamics, very different personalities, very different physical features, very different means to an end from all these characters, which I think Game of Thrones, both the show and the books, what we covered today, I think was a pretty good breadth of.
I'm just so excited. It's this Sunday. I'm so excited. Thank you guys for watching this special episode on the women of Game of Thrones. We hope to have more episodes like this one. If you guys want us to cover a show that you really like, you guys want us to do just like a special on their female characters and how feminist the show is, then we can do that as well too. So let us know in your comment down below. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and comment thumbs up or thumbs down this video.
Thank you Entertainment Weekly for being a really great companion to the idea for the show. Women, the dames of
the Dame of
Thrones.
Thrones.
Alright guys. Peace. Bye.